All right, today we're testing a truly unique, I'm gonna say masterpiece right off from Rogue Perfumery. And this one is newly released at the time of this video, hot off the press, bro. And this is Bonded by Rogue Perfumery. Now, the founder of this house is none other than Manuel Cross. And all his stuff is like reimaginative, vintage style fougères that are brought back, like discontinued fragrances. He kind of reimaginatives them, he remakes them in his own creative way, an ode to vintage perfumery. He's one of my favorite perfumers and houses because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a huge fan of fougères. Now this one is rich and very masculine. I'll say that right off the rip, and it blends like nostalgicness with creativity. And enough said, but this one has already became one of my favorites from the house, and I've only had it a few days. Let's start off with the name. This is Bonded. Now at first, I wasn't sure what that meant, so I did a little bit of a deep dive, and they're talking about bonded bourbon. And that term has just deep roots, if you're not familiar, in the American Prohibition era. Now it refers to like whiskey and bourbons that were, I don't know, they were made under some type of strict American rules, some governmental bullshit. I don't want to talk about that, but that's what the name Bonded means. But what we care about is how does this fragrance smell? Now I'm going to say this right off. This fragrance is one of the most unique in Rogue's lineup. So if you're familiar with Rogue's perfumes, which I know some of you are, and you like fougères, this one to me already is a must buy. All right, here we go. Let's do a couple sprays in the air. Two right off. Atomizer's really nice. A little bit of a fine mist. Now this opening, I'm not just saying this opening is absolutely phenomenal, and I love it so much. And I haven't smelled an opening like this that just like blew me out of my socks until I smelled Toba Color by Dior. Now this doesn't smell like that, but the opening is just that good. And we'll do two on the arm too, because I just got to give this a direct whiff. We got to smell this. Oh, this one's strong too. Now, right in the air, as soon as you smell this, you get a sweet, warm bourbon smell that's absolutely phenomenal with like a sweet tobacco-ness to it. Now, it is boozy, but it's not super overpowering, but it does smell like super aged golden bourbon that just is so smooth and well blended. And it has that sweetness to it, and it has that little bit of sweet tobacco to it. And that tobacco, it just adds a nice, soft, aromatic edge to this fragrance. It feels very classy and masculine right from the start. This is a nostalgic feeling fragrance. I literally feel like I'm in the 1920s. I also love the label of all Rogue Perfumery fragrances. Take a look at that. I'll try to zoom up on there. It's very nice. It has the logo and it's in gold. It just takes you back, man. Now here's the thing. So you get that bourbon, you get the tobacco in the opening. It's a little bit sweet. Now as it starts to develop, you get a very nice, realistic, and I'm guessing it is pure real oak moss that develops into this fragrance, and it goes from boozy and tobacco-y sweet and turns into a very nice fougère. Like, it's absolutely insane. Personally, I don't think I've smelled a boozy, bourbony, whiskey-like tobacco aromatic fougère. If you have smelled one, I want to hear you put it down in the comments of what that is, because I'm not aware of one that exists. And that oak moss is a little bit earthy, it's a little bit green, and it just helps balance the sweetness from the tobacco and the bourbon so nicely. This is so well blended, as all of his fragrances are. I'm telling you, if you never smelled Rogue's stuff, it's like seriously a treat. It's really good stuff. And it's kind of hard to describe the vibe of this. It's like, think old school barbershop mixed with like underground distillery, like bourbon, Prohibition era. It's almost like if you were back in the 20s and you went and got a really nice fresh haircut, you know, and then they were drinking bourbon and someone got their like throat cut next to you. That's kind of what this smells like to me. It just captivates that vibe. Now, here's where things take a twist. Just when I thought this couldn't get any better or unique, it really does. As this fragrance starts to dry down, this is where things take a twist and it just gets darker. The tobacco in here started off sweet. It's no longer sweet. It turns into a dark, realistic, like ashy, smoky tobacco, and I absolutely love it. And there is a really intense woodiness in here. So like, once again, we'll recap. The opening was bourbon, sweet tobacco, oak moss, and then it gets dried with really dark woodiness, ashy, smoky tobacco. There's almost like a faint leather note in here, but I think it's playing tricks on my mind because there is a fragrance this is starting to slightly remind me of, and that fragrance is Rhinoceros or Rhino by Zoologist. Now this is a way more wearable version, I would say, but like that type of DNA, imagine that DNA, but done by Rogue. Imagine Rhino by Zoologist, that leathery tobacco whiskey-like fragrance, but just done as an aromatic fougère and like not as challenging, not as potent, although this still is strong. But that's what this reminds me of. Now there is agarwood in here, Vietnamese agarwood to be exact, which I believe is like oud wood, right? And that adds to the dark, resinous vibe to this. It's not skanky at all, and it's not challenging, but it is dry, woody, and smoky with that ashy tobacco, and it has a little bit of that sweetness that just cuts through and is still there. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna say for what this is and this style of fragrance, we're gonna give this a 10 out of 10 right off the bat. And it still has that barbershop aromatic edge to it. I mean, this time, like it's like you're wearing a dinner jacket though, in the 20s, like one of those fancy ballroom parties where it's just like everyone's smoking and it's full of tobacco smoke. Like that is what this conjures up. I feel like I'm on the Titanic, like in the boat in one of those classy parties followed by like millionaires all around me. Maybe not millionaires, but just people everywhere. You know what else this reminds me of? If I had to sum this up in a movie, and this is kind of funny, the movie, I've used this reference before, but I love this movie, the original Disney cartoon Pinocchio. This smells like when they send the boys to like that island and they're all playing pool and drinking beer and they start turning into donkeys. This is what I picture that like bar smelling like. Now, as far as the projection and the longevity, I mean, right off a few sprays, it starts off really strong. But overall, I would say a little bit more moderate. I got a solid 4 to 6 hours with this. Do more sprays if you want longer. On clothes, it lasted about 10 to 12. Not beast mode, like the initial sprays are beast mode, but it fades, it tapers off very nicely. It's very smooth and well blended, and it's just a good one. I'm so excited that I got this. I'm such a huge fan of Rogue Perfumery, and I love the fougères, and I love what he's doing, and I love the whole vibe. His story is absolutely great also. Check that out if you're not familiar with like his background and his story. It's really nice. Now, as far as where to wear this, the versatility of this fragrance, I mean, you could easily wear this all year round. I would say it does thrive slightly better in like maybe cooler months. I would wear this in summer too, but not like the hottest of summers, right? Like I'm not gonna wear this going to a beach, but you could easily wear this on like summer date nights. If you're going to a jazz club, comedy show, that type of thing, you can do it. I think this is a little bit too elegant for casual wear at work, which I'll still do anyways, but it's like more than that. It's classier than that. This would be like possibly like a wedding fragrance if you're into that type of vibe. And it does have like a rugged charm to this. I'm sorry, but you know, a lot of fragrances I do like are unisex. This could be, but this just screams masculine. This is like masculine through and through. This is something Wyatt Earp would have wore while he was slapping people around, you know, getting everything in order. Now, price-wise, on their website, currently I've only seen a few places that carry this, but you can go to Rogue Perfumery website. I'll put a link down below. And this is the 30 ml, and this roughly goes for about $85, and they do have a 75 ml, which I think was about $135. I bought the smaller one because they're running a deal right now, and it was something like buy two, get something half off or some type of deal. So I'd rather get two smaller 30 mls than just one bigger bottle. And I did get another fragrance, and it was like, I don't know what it was called. It was Fougere Lube or something like that. It was a good one though, and it reminded me of Creed's Green Irish Tweed a little bit. It was nice. We'll do a review on that soon. But if you do want to get some samples, you can get them from Rogue Perfumery as well, I believe. But I'll also have this available on the Fragrance Channel Decants, my personal decanting service. I'll give you a sample out of this bottle. It's a good one. This is a really good one. It just smells like nice and smoky in here. I feel like I'm in a straight like pool hall about to get jumped by a bunch of mobsters. You know, that's the vibe this gives off. Wow, I was so excited about this one. Like I said, I've never smelled a boozy aromatic fougère quite like this. Leave some comments below, like I said earlier. Let me know what you think of Rogue Perfumery. Let me know what your favorite is by them, and I'll check them out. I might even have them already. I have a few by them. I have some of their bangers. Manuel Cross is killing it, and I can't wait for him to release some more stuff. Maybe we'll try to get him on here. I love like the indie brands, you know, the independent dudes doing this. I know he's a self-taught perfumer. Maybe we can get him out here and talk to him. That'd be fantastic. You know what my dream would be? is to get him to do like I said, he's one of my favorites, to get him to do a fragrance channel sponsored fragrance. Oh, that would be awesome. Like a signature, that'd be dope as shit. Hit the bell down below, blah, 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 subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go eat actually with a bunch of people, so let's do that.